Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our video lessons. I hope everyone did a good job with our video lessons last week. I hope everyone's having fun at home and staying safe. So let's get started with today. So today is Tuesday, April 21st. Tuesday, April 21st. And just like last week, we're going to start with reading again. So last week we talked about how there are settings, and that's where or when our story takes place. And there's also the characters in our stories. And we talked about the beginning, the middle, and the end of our stories. But let's look a little closer at the characters in our stories today. So we know that the characters are the people or the animals in our stories. But let's look at maybe some things about our characters that we notice. So when we read books, our characters usually look a certain way, or maybe they act a certain way. So let's look at a book today, and we're going to see if we can notice some things about this character. Maybe how they act, what they do, how they look. Let's see. All right, so our book today is Ava is a Vegan. It's written by Rachel Rice, and it's illustrated by Aska. All right, Ava is a vegan. Remember, we take our sneak peek. So here are two girls. Looks like they're in a park, maybe. There's a pond with some ducks and a dog. Oh, I wonder if the dog is part of the story. They've got a table they're sitting at with lots of food, and this girl is holding food up to her, so maybe they're sharing. They have a backpack over here. I wonder if they brought their food in the backpack. I wonder which one of these is Ava. Let's see. Ava and I eat fruits, vegetables, and grains. So it says Ava and I. Still doesn't tell us who Ava is. Let's keep reading. I also eat meat, dairy, and eggs. So dairy would be anything that has milk in it. So like chocolate milk or ice cream or yogurt. Ava does not eat meat, dairy, and eggs. So Ava does not eat those things. Ava is a vegan. Okay, this must be Ava, because I see a girl eating vegetables, broccoli, and I see a picture of meat, eggs, and this looks like it might be cheese. And it's got a big red circle around it, which means that she does not eat it. So this must be Ava. Ava is a vegan. Vegans do not eat food made from animals. So vegans do not eat food made from animals. And that's Ava is a vegan, so Ava doesn't eat anything made from animals. Ava and I like many of the same foods. Remember, this is Ava. It doesn't tell us who this is, but this is the girl talking in our story. We like some of them made different ways. They like some of them made different ways, but they still like some of the same foods. All right, let's keep reading. Ava and I like fried rice. Okay, so they both eat fried rice because that's not made from animals, it's made from a plant. So they both like to eat fried rice. Ava likes tofu in hers. I like chicken and egg in mine. Okay, so they both eat rice, but Ava gets tofu in hers because that's not made from animals. And the other girl, her friend, likes chicken and eggs in hers. And Ava can't eat that because it has chicken. She doesn't eat chickens. And eggs come from chickens. She doesn't eat eggs. But they both like rice. Ava and I like burgers. Ava likes hers made of black beans. I like mine made of ground beef. So there's Ava's burger, and it's made out of beans, so not from animals. And there's her friend's, made out of beef, so from a cow. Ava and I like oatmeal. We both like peanut butter and bananas in it, so none of those things come from animals, so they can both eat it. They both like to eat oatmeal, and they both like peanut butter and bananas in it. All right, the end. So let's think of some things that we can think of about our main character. So Ava was our main character. Let's see. When we looked at her, she had brown hair. And there was one other thing about Ava that was different than her friend. Her friend could eat some things and Ava couldn't. What are some things that Ava could not eat? What was one big thing about Ava that was different from her friend, specifically in foods that they ate? So you're going to think about what that one big thing is, and you're going to draw a picture that shows me that one big detail about Ava. Remember, her friend could eat some things, but Ava couldn't eat them. She ate something different. So you're going to draw a picture that shows me that. All right, let's move on to our reading. Our phonics, not our reading, our phonics. Phonics comes next. We're done with reading. All right, so the last couple weeks we've been practicing our vowel teams. So today we're going to move on to a different kind of vowel team. So these are called our R-controlled vowels. These are when we have a vowel and they're next to an R. So this week we're going to focus on our AR. R. AR makes the R sound. And that's one of our R-controlled vowels. We have our A, that's our vowel, and we have the letter R next to it. So let me see if I can think of an R word, an R-controlled vowel word. So here we have car. I added a C to the beginning, and it makes car. We wrote in the car. I wonder if I can add a letter to the end of this and see if I can make another word. All right, so I added a T on the end, and I have, remember, this was car. Now I added the T, so I got to add the T sound. Cart, cart. I pushed the cart at the store. Cart. And I hear that R sound in there. The AR with that R controlled vowel makes the R sound. Cart. All right. So for your assignment today, you're going to look at this worksheet, and on a separate piece of paper, you're going to unscramble these AR words, the bossy R or the R controlled vowel words. So let's see, let's do a couple of them together, and then you're gonna do the others on your own and write them down on a piece of paper. All right, let's try this first one. I have A, C, and R, and I know that A, R, they go right beside each other. So A, R. So I've used A and R. Now I have a C left. And what's this a picture of? It looks like a picture of a car, like that word that we just saw. Car. I'm using my C. So this one is a car, and I hear that R sound, and I see that AR. All right, so let's look at this one. All right, I know my A and my R go together. They make that R sound, AR. So I'm going to cross out my A and my R. All right, so now I have F and M. And what does this look like a picture of? To me, I see a barn. And this thing right here is called a silo. And those are things that I would see on a farm. Farm. Let's see. Let's sound that out and listen to the sounds. F, R, M. Farm. I hear that F at the beginning. F. And I hear F, R, M. That M at the end. Farm. I hear that R sound. So you, for your assignment, you're going to do the rest of these on your own. You're going to write them down on a separate piece of paper. All right, let's move on to math. All right, so last week we talked about how we count by tens when we have towers of 10 or when we're counting fingers or toes. And we also tried to figure out how many cubes we would have if we had a certain number of towers of 10. So let's look at a little trick to see how many cubes we could have. So when we want to know how many towers, if we want to see how many towers there are, and we know there are 10 cubes in each tower, that means we want to know how many tens there are. Max has 40 cubes in towers of 10. How many towers of 10 does he have? So we want to know how many towers of 10 does he have if he has 40 cubes. So when I'm looking at problems like these, a little trick I can use, I can look at this first number in my tens. And this first number here says 4. So that means there are 4 tens, 4 towers of 10. Let's see. We know these are towers of 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 towers of 10 is 40 cubes. So we looked at this first number in our tens, and that told us how many towers he would have. All right, let's look at our next one. So use 10 cards to show the number. All right, so our number is 40. And we know that these 10 frames, those all equal 10. If I look at this first number again, that's 4. That means I should have 4 tens. Let's see, how many of these 10 frames does it take me to get to 40? 10, 20, 30, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 10 frames gets me to 40. I looked at that first number, and that tells me how many 10 frames I would need to get to 40. All right, let's look at the next one. Drag hand cards to show the number. All right, so these are our hands. We know there are 10 fingers. We need 40 fingers. So if I look at this first number, I should need 4 pairs of hands. Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40. 40 fingers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of hands. That matches my first number. 4 pairs of hands is 40 fingers. 4 groups of 10. Let's look at our last one. All right, so if I have 80 cubes, if I have 80 cubes, And I want to know how many towers of 10 that would make. So 80 cubes, how many towers of 10 would that be? I could draw it out, or I could use our chart like last time. So let's try our chart first. Let's see, 80 cubes. Let's look at this first number. That should mean there are 8 towers of 10. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do our towers first, and then we'll do our chart. So here are towers of 10. I should need 8 to get to 80. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. All right, so I used 80 cubes. Let's see how many towers that is. There should be 8 if I'm looking at my first number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 towers of 10, and there were 80 cubes. So I looked at my first number, and that told me how many groups of 10 I would have. All right. So now let's look at our chart. All right, so I have 80 cubes. That means I should have 8 groups of 10. All right, so I'm going to count to 80 first. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. All right, so here are my 10s. I counted to 80 by 10s. So now let's see how many 10s we have. Remember, if we're looking at the first number, there should be 8 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8 groups of 10. 80 cubes means I should have 8 groups of 10 or 8 towers of 10 cubes. All right. So that's our math for today. So you guys for math are going to tell me how many towers of 10 I would have if I had 50 cubes. So how many groups of 10 would there be if I had 50 cubes? Remember to look at that first number in 50. You could draw pictures or you could use a chart to help you out. How many groups of 10 would there be if I had 50 cubes? All right, so that's it for today. So go get started on your assignments. Remember, if you have any questions, have mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, sister, whoever, have them message me and can ask me your questions, or maybe if you need a little bit more help with something else, just have them send me a message and we can figure it out. All right, I will see you guys. We won't have a video lesson tomorrow because we're going to be working on the same things that we worked on today. But I will see you guys on Thursday for our next video lesson.